They are accusing Democrats of saying we spend too much. For anyone that wants to entertain that thought, I ask you to think about the last time a person has said in this country that the government does too much for them, that their Social Security check was too high, that teachers are paid too much. When was the last time anyone has heard or seen that?
Will the Prime Minister tell the House whether there was a party in Downing Street on the 13th of November?
Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, no, but I'm sure that whatever happened, the guidance was followed and the rules were followed at all times. Number 10 is a big department with the garden as an extension of the office, which has been in constant use because of the role of fresh air in stopping the virus. And when I went into that garden just after 6 on the 20th of May 2020 to thank groups of staff before going back into my office 25 minutes later to continue working, I believed implicitly that this was a work event. No, nobody told me that what we were doing was, as you say, against the rules, that the event in question was something that we were going to do something that wasn't a work event. And, as I said in the House of Commons, when I went out into that garden, I thought that I was attending a work event.
On the 1st of December, the Prime Minister told this House, in relation to parties during lockdown, all guidance was followed completely in number 10 from that dispatch box. Yeah. On the 8th of December, looks quizzical, he said it. On the 8th of December, the Prime Minister told this House, I have been repeatedly assured since these allegations emerged there was no party. So since he acknowledges the ministerial code applies to him, will he now resign?
Did you send that picture to that college student in Washington State?
I did not. She says she never got it and doesn't know me. I certainly don't know her. This seems like it was a prank to make fun of my name. You know, when you're named Wiener, that happens a lot. Got 45,000 some odd Twitter followers, hundreds of people that I follow. This seems like a prank that has gotten an enormous amount of attention.
This is the picture. I'm sure you've seen it by now. Is this you?
I can tell you this. We have a firm that we've hired to, I've seen it. I've seen it. A firm that we've hired to try to get to the bottom of it. I can tell you this, that photos can be manipulated. Photos can be of one thing changed to look like something else. We're going to try to get to the bottom of what happened. Maybe Jon Stewart last night had it right, unfortunately. But we're going to find out. Look, this is turned into this kind of international whodunit. What it really is was, I think, a prank. I'm treating it like a prank and trying to get back to the work I'm trying to do. I understand you want to pursue the story, and we're going to try to help you best we can.
Well, we just want to resolve it once and for all. You would know if this is your underpants, for example.
The question is, this, I appreciate you continuing to flash that at me. Look, I've said the best I can that we're going to try to get to the bottom of what happened here. But, I just want to caution you, and you understand this, you're a pro, that photographs can be manipulated, photographs can be taken out from one place and put in another place, photos can be doctored. And I want to make sure that we know for sure what happened here. It certainly doesn't look familiar to me, but I don't want to say with certitude to you something that I don't know to be the certain truth. But I do know some certain truths here. I didn't send any Twitter picture. The person who allegedly it was sent to, this poor woman who was frankly a victim in all this, didn't get it. She put out a statement saying as much. I don't know her. She doesn't know me. It seems to me that this is what goes on in the internet world, in the social media world of 2011, that sometimes these things happen.
It's absolutely bizarre. I mean, when a royal prince dressed in an SS uniform, he was absolutely, condemned. Had he worn a Mao outfit, nobody would have blinked.
Why is that? Why is it right to wear a Maoist T-shirt, but obviously wrong, as it is, to wear a Hitler T-shirt?
I suppose some people will judge that on balance, Mao did more good than harm. You can't say that about the Nazis.
What was the good bit? Remind me what the good bit was.
Serious?
Well, it's funny. I just had this debate with my son.
I wish this were in prime time.
Well, I just had this debate with my son.
Still like all these old lefty dictators. Mao killed tens of millions of people.
Yeah, just tell me what was the good that he did that made up for the 60 million people he murdered?
He led his country from feudalism. He helped to defeat the Japanese, and he left his country on the verge.
Could have beaten the Japanese too.
No, well, and he left his country on the verge of the, you know, the great economic success they're having now.
We've always had to deal with dictators. I mean, don't forget that we dealt with and became the biggest ally of the greatest dictator of them all, Stalin. And we did that to beat a greater evil threat to us at the time, which was Nazi Germany.
That's perfectly true.
Churchill knew that after we'd beaten Hitler, Stalin would become the threat. Roosevelt didn't.
All that's true. Although, let's just say to Diane that you call Stalin the greatest ever dictator. In terms of mass murder, he isn't on the same page as Mao that Diane apparently
Well, I
calls.
was just putting the case for Mao.
But like Mao, he did lead his people from feudalism.
Those who had not been murdered were led from feudalism.
Yes, those who survived the pogroms.
So how much would 10,000 police officers cost?
Well, if we recruit the 10,000 police men and women over a 4-year period, we believe it'll be about £300,000.
£300,000 for
Sorry,
10,000 police officers. What are you paying them?
No, I mean, sorry.
How much will they cost?
They will cost. It will cost about £80 million.
About £80 million.
Yeah.
Right. How do you get to that figure?
We get to that figure because we anticipate recruiting 25,000 extra police officers a year at least over a period of 4 years. And we're looking at both what average police wages are generally, but also specifically police wages in London.
And this will be funded by the reversing, in some instances, I think, the cuts to capital gains tax. But I'm right in saying that since Jeremy Corbyn became leader of the party, that money has also been promised to reverse spending cuts in education, spending cuts in arts, spending cuts in sports. The Conservatives say you spent this money already, Diane Abbott.
Well, the Conservatives would say that. We've not promised the money to any area. We've just pointed out that the cuts in capital gains tax will cost the taxpayer over £2 billion, and there are better ways of spending that money. But as we roll out our manifesto process, we are specifically saying how we will fund specific proposals. And this morning I'm saying to you that we will fund the 10,000 extra police officers by using some, not all, but just some of the over £2 billion.
The 80 million is the figure we use.
Yeah.
But if you, I don't understand. If you divide 80 million by 10,000, you get 8,000. Is that what you're going to pay these policemen and women?
No, we're talking about a process over 4 years.
I don't understand. What is he or she getting? 80 million divided by 10,000 equals 8,000. So what are these police officers going to be paid?
We will be paying them the average...
Has this been thought through?
Of course it's been thought through.
In security footage obtained by Fox News and time-stamped Monday, 3:08 p.m. Pacific time, an 80-year-old part-time Napa resident called Nancy Pelosi can be seen slinking through a San Francisco hair salon. She has wet hair. She is not wearing a mask, but she was indoors. She was almost alone because due to coronavirus regulations, salons in San Francisco are closed for indoor services. Nancy Pelosi went inside. She can do that because she is the Speaker of the House, third in line for the presidency. You cannot because you don't have as much power as Nancy Pelosi has.
In the course of your career, has your husband ever made a stock purchase or sale based on information you've received from you?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. To that stunning admission from a newly elected New York congressman that he lied about his work and education history. Republican George Santos is apologizing to his constituents, but insists his, quote, embellishments are not criminal and won't stop him from taking office in January. Here's ABC's Aaron Kotursky.
Tonight, with no apparent shame, George Santos is preparing to take his seat in Congress, hours after admitting much of the biography he campaigned on was a fabrication.
The reality is I'm human, I'm flawed, I'm not perfect.
On the campaign trail, Santos made it sound like he worked for Goldman Sachs and Citigroup.
I'm a businessman who spent the last 14 years in finance.
He now admits he worked for neither firm.
I used a poor use of words, but I did work in the industry for a number of years.
But Santos left open questions about his financial disclosures and how he was able to lend hundreds of thousands of dollars to his campaign, something critics say should be investigated.
So I hope I can earn your vote on November 8th.
Santos lied about graduating from college and about owning real estate, and he hyped his Jewish heritage, talking about how his grandparents survived the Holocaust. He told the New York Post his grandmother later converted to Catholicism. He described himself as Jew-ish.
I always joked, I'm Catholic, but I'm also Jew-ish, as in ish.
Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.